You heard it here first, folks. AI is taking over the world, society will be reshaped, and everyone is an expert on how it will happen. Welcome to Business Newsletter Recap, and today we're talking AI. But I promise we're not doing any doom and gloom commentary, and I'm not about to sell you a course. We'll take the next 15 minutes and we'll discuss two newsletters to shape how you treat AI in your marketing and in your career, and two newsletters with some practical use cases you can apply today. My name is Nathan Pohl, and I read business newsletters for fun and record what I find so you don't have to subscribe to the dozens of business experts out there on the internet. We keep these episodes short for your commute or doing dishes, so without any more delays, let's dive in. Our first feature of the day comes from the AskCMO newsletter, written by Wouter Teunissen. He's the founder and owner of Time Media, where he helps companies advertise in newsletters, and he's the host of the Biography podcast, where he tells the life story of some of the world's greatest founders. AskCMO is a repeat feature on the podcast, so be sure to go back and check out episode 11, where we looked at their edition on getting referral customers. Today, we're looking at a fascinating take on AI that has a pretty broad application to all of your marketing. Wouter starts off the edition by saying that no one cares that your product uses AI. AI-powered software, banking, shopping experiences, all don't matter to customers. He cited a study by 767 Labs that backed this up with data. Their survey saw there was no significant difference in what people were willing to pay for a product that uses AI versus one that doesn't. Now, that's a fun fact that you can pull out to sound really cool at parties, but I love how the rest of the newsletter dives into why this is the case. Customers care about benefits, not features. People want their lives to be easier, their pain to go away, and their problems solved. And whether AI is used to do that doesn't matter at all. The principle applies to any feature that you might have in your business. People don't care what paint you use if you're a painting company, but they do care that it comes with a warranty against damage. Peace of mind is the benefit. High-end paint is just a feature. If you recall back to episode 13, we covered a newsletter edition where we talked about this exact topic, but comparing it to video games. When you're playing any Mario game, if you run over a flower, you get powered up and start throwing fireballs. This is another great way to visualize that people want the power-ups. They want to throw fireballs, not details on what's in the flower. Selling features can be effective if you have a handful of people who are extremely knowledgeable about your product, maybe some AI super adopters, or someone who nerds out on types of paint. But to the mainstream consumer, skip labeling your product as AI enabled and do what Canva does. They have dozens of AI features built into their platform, but their main slogan is beautiful templates ready in 10 seconds. I think we can all benefit from auditing our marketing and making sure we are only focused on benefits and not features. Hey, if you're like me and try to avoid AI slop on a daily basis and also want to get a breakdown of marketing tactics from top companies, I've got a newsletter for you to read. It's called Marketer Gems, written by Tom Snyder. You'll get deep dives on a company or a trend and one weekly recap so you can stay up to date on the world of marketing and get notified when new AI marketing tools are getting launched too. We've covered a lot of his editions on the podcast before, and they are consistently some of my favorite reads. Join me and over 15,000 others and subscribe now at marketergems.com. Again, that's marketergems.com. I'll have a link for you in the show notes. Now, back to the show. Our next two editions are some practical use cases for AI. First up, we have a piece from Eddie Schleyner, who is one of the best copywriters out there. He writes the Very Good Copy newsletter and has worked with dozens of brands like HubSpot, Google, and Ramp to improve their copywriting and marketing campaigns. I learned so much from his newsletter and LinkedIn content, so I'm really excited to share one of his recent additions on how he uses AI in his writing and strategizing. He broke down a really great system for using AI to pull insights and examples from your reviews. Eddie has a copywriting course that generates hundreds of reviews from people who take it, and he actually worked through the entire process for what this looks like for his batch of reviews. Not a bad way to flex all the 5 stars that he's getting from his course as well. But what you need to do is upload a list of your positive reviews, or negative ones if you want to make fun of them, like the National Park System does, and ask your LLM to give you themes that come up multiple times in your reviews. Now, what you want to prompt is to give you multiple example quotes or whole reviews for each theme identified. This should help filter out any themes that maybe only got mentioned once, and for the LLM to truly look at your whole data set. You can adjust your prompt to give you more themes, but this should give you a great baseline to pick out the things your customers love about your product, so you can start incorporating them more into your messaging. In our last episode, we talked about Caitlin Burgoyne's advice to use your customers' own words in your marketing to avoid the curse of knowledge. So this exercise will help with that. While Eddie didn't talk about this in the newsletter, the opposite prompt can be run to take a look at your negative reviews as well. I mentioned that you can get some ammo to run reverse ads, and if you want great examples, please check out the National Park Services. But you can also identify themes where you are getting customer complaints so you can address them. You'll probably have to filter through a couple of reviews from people who will complain about anything, but working through these themes are incredibly eye-opening and can help you spot patterns. Our next newsletter feature is written by Ruben Hassid, creator of several AI how-to accounts and his main Substack newsletter. Ruben is a true internet native, generating a ton of success in digital marketing and the music industry, but he started focusing on LLMs when AI started to become mainstream a few years ago. If you want to follow someone who's constantly creating content on how to use AI, be sure to give him a follow after the episode. His addition that caught my eye was about how you get ChatGPT or any other LLM to be more creative, and it boils down to asking for multiple responses. He explains that LLMs are basically autocorrect on steroids. They are always going to give you the most logical next word, idea, or sentence. So anytime you are looking for an LLM to write copy, come up with ideas, or make a plan, you need to ask for multiple options. Otherwise, it will give you very, very basic information every single time. I don't use AI a ton to completely generate new copy, but when using it to brainstorm, I always like to ask for multiple options because inevitably some of them will be so basic or miss the point that they won't be usable. But giving instructions to give you multiple options or asking it to give you options from least aggressive to most aggressive, for example, can really help with that. This is a nice tidbit, but chances are you already do this. So Ruben goes a little deeper with an example from his own life. Right now, or at least at the time of writing this newsletter, he's living in Tel Aviv and trying to learn Hebrew as a French and English speaker. What he did was to give a follow-up prompt to a basic, please give me the top 5 tips on how to learn Hebrew as an English speaker. He prompted, I know all this. I want you to go much deeper. Focus on the 20% that you haven't shared yet to reach 80% of my goal, being fluent. His output was then much more specific tips for his goal, as it forced the LLM to think and search the web before giving him the output. He even attached a screenshot to show how long ChatGPT took to respond to him. Now, at this point, Ruben prompted it a third time with information about his situation. He is fluent in French and English, living in Tel Aviv, trying to learn Hebrew, and already doing a lot of the general tips and more specific ones from the second prompt. His final prompt added that context and asked for it to find case studies for his specific situation before giving him a final list of exercises, frameworks, and study material to learn the language as quickly as possible. Hopefully, this framework of asking for a list, asking for more detailed ideas, and finally, ideas or actions tailored to a specific scenario gives you the ability to get better results from ChatGPT or Gemini. Ruben's whole newsletter is dedicated to AI prompting, so be sure to subscribe to get more frameworks and ideas like this. Hey, if you live in Michigan, I have another project you should check out. This past Christmas, my wife and I did no Amazon Christmas shopping to try and support local businesses, the places that pay our taxes here in the state. So I made an online directory of both local shops from around the state or Michigan-made products, and it's called buylocalmi.com. And I'd love for you to check it out. I'll have the link in the show notes. Now, back to the episode. Our final newsletter feature of the day comes from Shaan Puri, co-host of the My First Million podcast, my top podcast on my Spotify Wrapped, several years running now. He's also the founder of several companies. He writes the 5 Tweet Tuesday newsletter, where he pulls out top tweets every week and some of his own commentary. And he used to write the 1 Minute blog, which were mini essays on a lot of different business and life topics. The edition that we're covering today was from a few months ago, back when he still wrote the 1 Minute blog. So I've been sitting on it for a while. But I think it's a great closing thought for how to think about AI. I think most people see AI as either a huge positive or a huge negative for their job. But Shaan takes an optimistic middle ground. He starts by visualizing jobs as bundles of tasks. Well, actually, he starts by visualizing himself as a seer with a crystal ball, but that's beside the point. Thinking of jobs in bundles of tasks makes it easier to think about the effects of AI. For example, in my job, I am launching new campaigns, analyzing keywords and ad placements, tweaking ad creative, and working with our marketing team to share the results of what we're doing. Now, AI is already pretty good at some of these, and it's only going to get better. So what Shaan argues is that AI is going to turn job roles into K-shaped trajectories. Some things, like tweaking placements or settings, will probably get replaced with AI tools that can actually do work even more effectively than live people in the very near future. Those types of tasks, or ones like data entry, possibly data analysis, and probably some types of creative work, will be outsourced. They'll be the bottom half of the K pointing down. But there are also a lot of tasks that will be on the upward trajectory of the K shape that can't be replaced by AI or will be accelerated by it. Manual labor for home service businesses are all pretty safe, but strategic decisions about where to allocate budgets or working with people to explain and understand data, and of course, building relationships to generate sales and create partnerships will be crucial for scaling the companies of the future. This exact framework has challenged me to audit my own bundle of tasks for my day job to make sure I've future-proofed my own work and found ways to use AI and automation to my advantage. I hope it's a helpful way to think about AI for you and your job as well. To recap our actionable takeaways from today's episode, we went over 2 frameworks for thinking about AI. One is to never lead with the fact that your product is powered by AI, since it's a feature. And instead, you should focus on benefits to your consumer in your marketing messaging. The other, from Shaan Puri, is to think about AI as either eliminating or accelerating individual tasks that you do in your day-to-day job, rather than worrying about if AI will take over the world. We also looked at 2 practical use cases for your business to give you insights on your reviews, as well as follow up prompts to get you better outputs, especially when working on your company's strategies. If you want to subscribe to any of the newsletters mentioned, I'll have all the links for you in the show notes. And if you have any feedback, my contact info is there as well, and I'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you enjoyed the show, it is 100% free to you to leave a rating on Spotify, or a thumbs up or subscribe on YouTube, or just share it with a colleague or fellow business nerd. I do see those. It really means a lot to me, and I know I say it every time, but I appreciate you if you're somebody who listens to this show every single time I drop an episode. And if you're brand new, I'm really glad you're here. Thanks for listening, and we will see you on the next episode of Business Newsletter Recap.